So I sat in a really interesting breakout session on the legal risks of a board member and the things that you need to think about before you say yes, before you take on a board role, because it does open you up to some legal risks. And I thought it was really interesting because, so it was from a legal team that represents board directors. And one of the things they said is D&O insurance in today's landscape, $1 million is not enough. It's not enough coverage. And I thought that was really interesting because I think sometimes, we all default to, yeah, you need $1 million of coverage to support anything that might happen. But he said really a good D&O policy needs to be about $5 million to really protect you in case of an issue.
It speaks to our changing times.
And the other thing that they talked about is, some of those red flags that come up that could cause you to see that there may be some risk, or there may be some issues. And some of those things are, if you're asking for questions, asking questions and you're not getting answers to them, you aren't able to meet with the rest of the board if you ask to. If you can't, if you can't get, if you're being brought on because you're tech expertise and you can't see the tech, things like that, those could be red flags that maybe things aren't everything that they seem that they are, and you may be getting into a situation where there could be, investor fraud, things like that.
So, and it's a great reminder as we tell people in preparing for interviews, these interviews are not just you being interviewed, it's you interviewing them, right? It's knowing the questions, knowing the types of things you need to uncover based on what you're being tasked with as a board member. So really remembering that interviews are a two-way street, even at the break.
We need to be thinking about these things because, as they mentioned, and it's so important, it's not just the legal risk, but it's the reputational risk. You can take on a board seat and then your name is tied to whatever may happen at that time. And so you really want to be clear about whether it is a good opportunity and whether there's any issues that could